Here's our audience. Audience right here. Right here. Action.
Death by texting. A 2011 February article in Psychology Today related the following tragic accident. 16-year-old Elizabeth was running late for a fun-filled evening with her friends. She excitedly ran out the door and got into her car. She fastened her seatbelt and cranked the engine. As she drove down the highway, her phone started to ring. She had a text. She looked through her purse and found her cell. Where are you was the text message. Elizabeth responded late, but be there soon. She started to put her phone down, and then she heard horns honking and screeching tires. She looked up, but it was too late. She smashed into the car ahead of her. Extreme pain shot through her entire body, and then everything went to black. She struggled to grasp for her final breath. Unfortunately, the same scenario is happening more and more frequently as texting while driving continues to occur. The February 2011 Psychology Today article, Death by Texting, makes this point vividly by reporting that 1 in 4 teens admits to texting while driving. According to the AAA website, a majority of drivers, 94%, agree that texting while driving is unacceptable, and 87% support laws against typing, reading, and sending text messages while driving. However, more than 1/3 of drivers report that they do text while driving. This do as I say, not as I do attitude is one of the greatest obstacles preventing us from improving safety on our roads. I have witnessed many near misses due to drivers texting on many trips from Texas to Montana over the past few years. Currently, I make many trips from College Station to Tyler on a 2-lane road, well traveled by college students, and I have had some very scary moments as a result of distracted drivers because of texting. We hear the tragic stories about people losing their lives in avoidable car accidents due to texting while driving much too often. But how often do we ourselves engage in that same reckless behavior? Rationalizing that, it'll just take a second to text a friend, or I can drive and text because I'm careful. Or the most common misconception is those accidents only happen to other people, not myself. This deadly behavior saddens and shocks us, especially when it touches our own lives. I experienced this firsthand when a good friend of mine rolled his pickup due to texting and driving. But fortunately, he recovered. I'm advocating that texting while driving should be against the law for all drivers, and that all states should prohibit sending text messages and emails while operating a vehicle. First, we will investigate the impaired driving skills that result in accidents due to drivers texting while driving. Then we will discuss the laws that have been implemented to address this issue. Finally, we will explore options and solutions to help reduce and eliminate the frequency of texting and driving. Initially, I would like to discuss the extent to which driving skills are impaired when a driver is distracted by texting. Texting and driving statistics from the AAA website prove this point vividly by reporting that a driver's reaction time is decreased by 35% when texting and driving. Also, a driver's steering capabilities go down drastically, 91%, when texting, and a person is 23 times more likely to get in an accident when texting and driving. Psychology Today's February 21st, 2011 article, Death by Texting, reveals that a person is 4 times more likely to get into an accident when drinking and driving, but 8 times more likely to get in an accident when texting and driving. When texting, your eyes are off the road enough time to travel the length of a football field if you're traveling 55 miles an hour. The September 23rd Reuters article, Talking to Death, addressed this issue by stating that this recklessness has caused numerous accidents and deaths, especially in the age group 16 to 20-year-old, which is the largest texting demographic. Drivers distracted by talking and texting on cell phones has killed an estimated 16,000 people from 2001 to 2007. The May 31st, 2011 Fort Worth Star-Telegram estimated that cell phone usage has caused 3,308 crashes in the state of Texas, including 41 deaths in 2009. The National Highway Traffic Safety website states that distracted driving, including cell phone use, was responsible for 20% of the U.S. traffic deaths in 2009, which was up 10% from the previous year. Drivers simply do not seem to realize the dangers that are created when they take their eyes off the road, their hands off the wheel, and their focus on activities other than driving. Now that we have established the imperitability that texting causes in drivers, we will now discuss the laws that have been passed to address this deadly issue. According to Fox News Online, state bans on texting while driving, 7 states and the District of Columbia currently prohibit sending text messages while operating a vehicle. But 43 other states don't have comprehensive laws on the books. 18 states and the District of Columbia have passed laws that affect certain sections of people by prohibiting only school bus drivers from sending text messages when school children are present. The Department of Transportation website reports that effective January 20th, 2010, all commercial drivers are prohibited from texting while driving. Fines up to $3,000 can be issued. The June 2nd, 2011 Fort Worth Star-Telegram reported that in Texas, House Bill 242 made texting and emailing while driving in Texas a misdemeanor, punishable by a fine up to $200 and up to 30 days in jail. In the case where texting causes a crash with serious injury or death, the person could be found guilty of a Class B misdemeanor with 180 days in jail and a $2,000 fine. Even though this law does apply to all drivers, the Class B misdemeanor seems ineffective as a punishment in the case of loss of life due to driving while texting. We have discussed the laws in place to help deter texting and driving. So lastly, we'll discuss the possible solutions to reduce and hopefully eliminate the potentially destructive behavior of texting and driving. The Psychology Today article, Death by Texting, suggests several ideas for parents who have teens who drive. The suggestion is to have parents write a contract with their teens outlining the rules of driving, which include no texting while driving. And if they do not abide by these rules, they lose their privilege to drive. Also, the article suggests that parents can watch the AT&T YouTube video, Don't Text While Driving, with their teens. It is a very descriptive video and with a very powerful message that could be very effective for teenagers starting to drive. Third, the article recommends Taiwai.com, which is a website that explains the use of an electronic device that monitors teen driving behaviors. The fourth recommendation is to use hands-free equipment and keep both hands on the wheel at all times. You can call, text, and email with a KFDI hands-free, which is a voice-activated service that allows keeping both hands on the wheel. However, this is not recommended for younger drivers. Lastly, as a driver since the age of 15, the technique that I use to avoid texting while driving is to turn off my phone and put it in my console before I ever put my truck in gear. If you don't hear it, you're not tempted to answer or read the message. As reported on the AAA website, it's time that we stop ignoring the facts and take action to change. The first step is changing our attitudes and, more importantly, changing our behavior. Texting and driving is the cause of thousands of preventable injuries each year and has cost many families the life of their loved ones. Today we have explored how texting and driving impairs our driving ability dramatically. With all the statistics and facts about the dangers of texting and driving, few states have comprehensive laws on the books to address texting and driving. We talked about some of the very basic ways to change the common behavior of texting and driving, including just turning off the phone and placing it in the console. Out of sight, out of mind. Texting while driving is potentially deadly behavior that is very preventable and should be against the law in states for all drivers. How different the scenario could have been. 16-year-old Elizabeth was running late for a fun-filled evening with her friends. She ran out the door and got in her car. She fastened her seatbelt, started the engine, and turned off her cell phone and put it in its console. Thank you.
Here's our audience right here. Right here, here's me. Alrighty.